After the European Union, US President Donald Trump is now putting pressure on the G7 to punish India and China, this time with tariffs as high as 100%. And why? Because both countries continue to buy Russian oil. According to documents seen by the Financial Times, Washington wants G7 nations to impose secondary tariffs on India and China, claiming the oil purchases are funding Putin's war machine. The US Treasury says the tariffs will supposedly end the day the war in Ukraine ends. But let's be real, this isn't about peace. This is about America using the Ukraine crisis as an excuse to control global trade and bully countries into submission. Trump has already imposed 50% tariffs on Indian imports and openly admitting that it has created a rift with New Delhi.
With sanctions to banks and having to do with oil and tariffs also. But I've already done it. I've done a lot. Look, India was their biggest customer. I put a 50% tariff on India because they're buying oil from Russia. That's not an easy thing to do. That's a big deal. And it causes a rift with India.
But what about China? Notice the double standards. After a short-lived hike in April, Trump quietly rolled back tariffs on Beijing to avoid upsetting the US-China trade balance. With India, there's no such hesitation. The G7 finance ministers did discuss this proposal, but not everyone was on board. Germany and several European officials were reluctant. Why? Because they know sanctioning India, a rising economic power and potential trade partner, would backfire. Brussels is actually working on sealing a trade deal with New Delhi within weeks. Canada too is busy repairing ties with India after a 2-year rift. Even the UK is pushing Trump to target only specific companies instead of slapping blanket tariffs that could spark a global trade war. Meanwhile, let's not forget the EU itself still buys around 20% of its gas from Russia, down from 45% before the war. Hungary and Slovakia continue to import Russian oil through pipelines, openly defying Brussels. If Europe can keep its energy lifeline going, on what moral ground does the US demand that India, thousands of miles away, give up its affordable energy security? From India's perspective, the answer is simple. Our energy needs come first. Russian crude is cheaper, reliable, and critical for our economic growth. India is not prolonging the war. India is protecting the livelihoods of 1.4 billion people. The hypocrisy lies with America and its allies who want others to sacrifice while they quietly protect their own interests. So while Washington may try to pressure G7 partners into isolating India, the truth is that the world is changing. New Delhi is not a pawn in America's geopolitical game. India will buy oil where it suits its people, trade with whom they choose, and continue to stand firm on its sovereign right to make independent decisions. Because for India, national interest will always come before Washington's lectures. With Jyoti Shukla, Bureau Report, India Today Global.